Hi guys, what's up? So my friend Nina said she can let us take a look at her house as a typical American house. So I'm gonna take you to a house tour today. Alright, let's go.
最初テキサスに来た時に1年間ぐらい一緒にここに住ませてもらっていました。ニーナとデイビッドは夫婦2人暮らしで子供はいないんですけど、犬が3匹、猫が3匹います。ではガレージの横から玄関に入れるので早速中に入ってみましょう。アメリカのタイムはこんな感じでめちゃめちゃ簡単な作りになってます。で、テキサス暑いんですけど、なぜかこの家は2枚ドアがありました。で、玄関に入ると左側が2階に続く階段、右側にちょっとしたスペースがあります。奥がリビングルームなんですけど、この手前のお部屋にグランドピアノなんか置いちゃったりしてます。で、反対側の壁にはワンちゃん用のケージが中に組み込まれています。もともと物置だったらしいんですけど、そこを改造したみたいです。で、そのまま奥に進むと左側には寝室につながる通路があって、反対側には来客用のトイレがあります。中はシンプルな作りなんですけど、日本のトイレよりもめちゃめちゃ広いですよね。隣にある扉は押し入れです。で、この左側にある水槽なんですけど、実はヘビさんが住んでいます。で、リビングはこんな感じ。でっかいソファーとでっかいテレビ。これ確か86インチぐらいだったと思います。私隣に立ってみたんで比較してもらえばどれだけ大きいかがわかると思うんですけど、私152センチなんでこんな感じです。これが置けるリビングっていうのがすごいですよね。で、一軒家は暖炉がついてるところも多いです。テキサス暑いイメージがあると思うんですけど、冬は普通に寒いので暖炉を使っているところが多いです。で、リビングの左側にはダイニングルームとつながっています。今コーギーちゃんが出てきた、ナビちゃんっていうんですけど、出てきたところが庭につながる扉ですね。ワンちゃん用の扉もあってすごく可愛いですよね。裏庭はこれくらいの広さ、めっちゃでかい。いつもここで3匹のワンちゃんたちが元気いっぱい走り回っています。両隣も真向かいもご近所さんのお庭なので、それを隔ててるのはこの木の板だけなので、たまに1枚剥がれて向こうのワンちゃんが顔を出したりします。で、ここでバーベキューをしたりもできて、お庭から見たお家はこんな感じですね。2階からもお庭が見下ろせます。で、この小屋が何かと思った人も多いと思うんですけど、普段使ってはないらしいんですけど、今回特別に見せてもらうことができました。中を開けると小さい小屋みたいな感じですね。ちょっとした作業場または倉庫として使えるみたいです。この家を買った時からついてたみたいなので、おそらく前のオーナーさんが作ったものではないかということでした。奥に冷房もついてて、しっかりロフトもありました。こんな感じ。日本で一人暮らししてた時よりもはるかに快適そうな小屋ですでは中に戻ってダイニングルームに行ってみましょう。この家の床はほとんどカーペットだったんですけど、ここの場所だけタイル張りになってました。で、ここでキッチン、料理を作ったりご飯を食べたりするとこですね。テーブルはでっかい4人座り。デイビッドさんはここでカメラを向けられて若干照れてますで、左にある黒いのは冷蔵庫ですね。めっちゃでっかい。で、こっち側に料理を作る場所、キッチン、オーブンと電子レンジがついてます。で、向かい側にはシンクと食器洗浄機。アメリカではシンクは2つに分かれているところが多くて、左側にディスポーザーといって生ゴミをそのまま捨てれる機能がついてるんですね。なのでそのままそこにポンと野菜の皮とかをもう入れてしまえればそこに捨てられるようになってます。 でこのドアの先は食料倉庫ですね。デイビッドさんもニーナさんも何でもかんでもここに入れちゃうのでちょっと散らかってますが、基本的には食べ物、食料とかあと調味料とかを入れたりする場所になってます。でアメリカのキッチンといえばでっかいオーブン、その上にはだいたい電気コンロがついています。だいたい4つのところが多いですね。で電子レンジも備え付け。ニアさんご飯食べるので炊飯器もあります。あとオーブントースターで、これなんでかわからないんですけど包丁の数が半端ないところが多いです。で上にはお皿とかコップ、下には調理器具が入ってますね。大容量の収納です。で皆さんお待ちかねの冷蔵庫、特別に今回はデイビッドさんの許可を得て中を見せてもらうことができました。中身はこんな感じ。1年分ぐらい食料入りそうですよね。で私がアメリカの電化製品の中で一番気に入っているところがここ。レバーを押すと氷が出てくるんですよ。めっちゃ便利じゃないですか。で設定を変えればちゃんと水も出ます。中にフィルターが入ってるのでちゃんときれいな水が出てきます。このまま飲めちゃうんですよ。これ日本にもめっちゃ欲しい。ではそのまま奥に進んで寝室の方に行ってみましょう。この中にはワンちゃんが入れないようにたくさんトラップが仕掛けられてるんですけど、黒いやつもトラップです一応。で右側の扉は押し入れだったみたいなんですけど、今は猫ちゃんのトイレになってます。下のちっちゃい穴から入れるみたいです。でこっちはガレージに続く裏口通路みたいな感じなんですけど、ここに洗濯機と乾燥機が置いてあります。でそのまま奥に進むとこの扉からガレージに出ることができます。だいたいガレージは車2台が入る大きさのところが多いですね。でここのボタンを押すと自動で扉が開きます。もちろん閉めることもできます。では左側の寝室、ニーナさんとデイビッドさんの寝室を見せてもらいましょう。この部屋の中にはワンちゃん入れないので、だいたい猫ちゃんのたまり場になってます。こいつがこの家のドン、ハクです。ベッドはもちろんキングサイズ。私も行ってみました。1、2、3、4、5ミサキチ入ります。ミサキチ5人分。ベッドの向かい側にはバスルームがあります。バスルームは散らかってて撮影禁止と言われてしまったので、綺麗だった時の動画を上げておきます。大きいお風呂とトイレで、シャワールームは別にあるんですよね。なのでドアもついてて、シャワーのブースだけここにあります。でこっち側のドアを開けるとウォークインクローゼットになってます。では玄関まで戻って2階行ってみましょう。階段もカーペットでできているので、そのまま上がっていくと左側にお部屋が3つ、あとバスルームで、右側に開けたリビングルームがあります。デイビッドさんはコレクターなのでフィギュアとかゲームがこの中に入ってます。でこっちの物置も ATM がぎっしり。で反対側にも物置があるんですけど、ここはニーナさんの趣味部屋になってるみたいで、ニーナさんが好きなものをここに置いてます。2人とも日本の文化やアニメがとても好きなので、集めてるものは日本のものが多いです。でこっち側行くとお部屋が3つあります。今2人とも家でテレワークをしているので、この2つ部屋がそれぞれの仕事部屋として使われています。この一番右の部屋はデイビッドさんの仕事部屋兼趣味部屋になってます。この隣はバスルームになっていて、中にトイレと普通にバスタブもついてます。私が住んでた時はこの2階のバスルームを自分専用として使わせてもらっていました。で一番左側の部屋が私が住んでた部屋です。今は誰も使ってないみたいなんですけど、これぐらいの広さでした。こっち側のクローゼットもめちゃめちゃ広くて大容量です。真ん中の部屋はニーナさんの仕事部屋なんですけど、見せられないということでNG でした。まあ2階はこんな感じでとても開放的な作りになってます。
はい。So, というわけで、I'm gonna have some question about the house, like American houses, to them, so that we can get to know some of it, probably. Okay. というわけで、はい。Alright, so first, I'm gonna ask, how big is this house?
This house is 2,600 square feet.
Which is
240 square meters.
So maybe like 3 times as big as ordinary, like typical Japanese house.
That does not include the backyard.
Right.
So it's just the house itself.
Right. So do you think it's the average size in Texas?
Close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on where you live, because some places it's much smaller.
Yeah.
Some places it's much bigger.
So like maybe the more you go in the city, like, it would be smaller.
But this is, we would probably say, an average in this area.
Yeah, and it's 1,000 square meters.
Okay. And then, would you mind if I ask the price?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's valued at probably 300,000 US dollars.
Right.
300,000.
Okay. How much did you buy it for?
We bought it for $180,000. So the housing,
So it's been going up.
yeah, it went up, the value.
Right.
That was about
The
6
value
years
went
ago.
up. Yeah.
Okay. So like if you sell the house right now, like you're gonna get a lot of money.
Almost double.
Maybe.
Almost.
Getting close to double, yeah.
I would do that.
The problem is buying a new house or another house, you'd have to move further out, and it would still be about the same amount of money.
Oh,
Yes,
that's true.
So there's no real reason to do it
Right.
unless you want something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like would it be the average price too? Like if you buy like around this area, like buy the house around this area.
Now?
Depends
yes.
on the size, so you'd be looking at least 250,000 if for a smaller house. Houses here can go down to 1,400 square feet. So 130 square meters is the smaller house in the neighborhood, and that would be about 250,000 right now.
Yeah.
So do you think it's cheaper to buy the house in Texas compared to other states?
It
Now?
depends on the state.
Yeah. In Texas, the housing market has always been very good. When we bought our house, it was $180,000. that was when we would call it a buyer's market. But right now it's what's called a seller's market, which is whenever you are selling a house, the price is more, and
Because everybody
people,
wants to buy it.
yeah, and people are willing to pay more for a home. So let's say our house is worth $300,000 in Texas. However, the same house in California
Yeah.
would be worth almost $2 million.
Yeah.
In
imagine.
New York City,
Yeah.
it would be 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Whereas if you went to Mississippi, it would probably be closer to like 150.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on where you're living
Yeah.
and when you're living.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's driven by job market too. So there's a lot of companies moving here. So people are wanting to live close to the companies. So the demand is very, very high.
Right.
Like Toyota's headquarters is 12 miles south of here. So it's driving the house prices of my neighborhood extremely high.
Oh.
Also, there's something called what we call a school district, which is very important to those who have children,
Right.
because they want them to go to a good, proper school. And so that happens based on what we would call zoning,
Yeah.
which is basically an outline of an area where if you're inside the line, then you go to this school. And if you're outside the line, you go to this school. So most people want to actually be inside the line because they want to go to a Frisco school district,
Yeah.
which makes it even more competitive for a home because they want their children to have a good education.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we're right on the edge. So the neighborhood just north of us, which is 2 streets over, is Frisco School District, but ours is Little Elm School District.
Okay.
So the houses on the other side of that main road are worth a lot more because they're Frisco School District.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my house is worth $300,000. Theirs might be worth $500,000.
So is it not possible to go to the Frisco school from here?
It's
Very
technically
rare.
possible, but there's a lot of things you have to do, and you have to get approval, and it's very difficult.
So there's something called a magnet program, which that particular school has some kind of program that's very special. Let's say it's acting, soccer, or something like that, where it's very special to that school, and they want to draw other students from other schools for that program. We call it a magnet program. So if that student enrolls in that magnet program, as long as they enroll in that magnet program, they'll be able to go to that school.
Yeah, and I had a friend, my really good friend growing up, went to a different school because he played hockey. Yeah, and they had a high school hockey team, and most places didn't. So he got to actually go there to play hockey.
But you have to be good at it, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, usually you have to be very good at it for them.
Very good, and you have to join the team.
Makes sense.
It's a rare situation, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But for the most part, whatever district you're in is where you go to school.
When I was in high school, I went from a middle school to a high school, and that high school, they said I couldn't join the high school because at that point I was white. I mean, it's because of your race. You can't enjoy it. If I was Japanese, I would have been able to enjoy the school. But because I was white at that time, they didn't allow me to enter the school because the population percentage was too high. There was way too many white people versus ethnicities.
Okay, so they have to have a certain amount of people who are not white.
They have to have a balance, and that's for every high school, unfortunately. So they tried to make me go from a school that was 5 minutes from my house to a school that was 30 minutes from my house and didn't have a good reputation. So my mother went and put me in private school so that I could have a good education.
But it's very expensive, right?
It is. It's much more expensive.
Extremely expensive.
It's much more expensive. However, they tend to get a better education in a private school. But at the same time, I don't think it's fair to the child because the child could have much better exposure to cultures and to a lot of extracurricular activities and all these kind of things that you can't always get at a private school.
Yeah.
So I wish they did not have the demographic guidelines that they have right now because I feel like it's not cohesive. It's not good for the child.
So I have another question. Like, is it more common to live for people here to live in the house, or like how common to live in an apartment?
Technically, it's more apartments, but not by very much. It's very balanced in Texas, or in Dallas at least. So it's closer to like 55% apartments. Most places in the country are more closer to 60 to 70% apartments.
So is it like half amount of people live in apartments?
Slightly more than half, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought maybe like more people live in the house.
No,
So
it's actually less common.
So wait, do they rent the house, like rent the apartment, or just buy the apartment?
So mostly in America, you rent an apartment. There are very few occasions we would call it a condo if you were to buy an apartment.
or a townhouse.
Or
Is another word.
a townhouse would be, well, a townhouse would be several super skinny houses put together in one building that are multiple floors usually.
Yeah.
A condo is an apartment complex, but you buy the apartment. Your parents
that's right.
own their apartment, right? We would call that a condo.
Oh, gotcha. That's okay. Yeah, I was wondering like what's the difference between the condo and apartment?
Right. So condo, you own your apartment, but you share repairs with everybody in the building. So if the roof starts leaking, they take the money from everybody who pays every month to fix the roof leak.
Okay. Okay. Is it possible to have like both like people renting the apartment and like people already bought the apartment as a
Yes,
condo?
it's rare, but yes, it does happen.
Oh, interesting. So, okay, another question. Is it more common to have carpet rather than like floor?
Depends on the age of the house.
Yeah. If it's newer, probably more than 2010, it will usually have wood floors or tile floors. Now, that also depends on location.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, where my parents live, the standard is that everybody has tile floors. And that is because of the heat and the amount of sand and things like that come into the home that would make it too difficult to have carpet.
Whereas
You know.
further north you get, the more likely you'll have carpet because it's cold.
So in Texas, it really does depend on the age of the house.
So like the older the house is,
More
the
likely you'll have carpet.
Okay.
And you'll normally notice this with much older houses because they'll have what's called a thing, carpet in the bathroom,
Whoa.
which is
That's crazy.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in houses in Pennsylvania that were 50 years old and didn't have carpet in the bathrooms. But it's something in Texas that was maybe in the 70s or 80s.
It'd be 70s,
Yeah, where people had carpet in the bathrooms. Whereas most days now they have tile. Because tile is hygienic.
Makes more
Or
sense. Yeah.
wood floors.
Or
Yeah.
wood.
Floors are very common.
Or wood. Yeah.
Especially if you buy an older house, a lot of people install wood floors into those older houses.
Yes.
はい。というわけで途中で電池が切れちゃったんですけど、アメリカのお家でした。また他に何かお家についての質問とかあればコメントに残していただければまた Q&A とかできるかなと思いますのでよろしくお願いします。Alright, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I will see you next time soon. Bye!